Welcome back to Crypto Spaces, back with another Zora video for you guys. We're diving into the ecosystem today, but let me just dive into a bit of the stats first on Zora. Again, like I said, now is such a great time to enter Zora. A lot of people are, selling their bags. A lot of people think Zora has failed. Most of crypto Twitter, majority, if not everyone on crypto Twitter, 90% of crypto Twitter thinks that Zora's failed. Creator coins are not going to go anywhere. This is over, Let's not support innovative projects. Let's not support innovative altcoins that are trying to disrupt trillion-dollar industries where, retail investors could actually make a win investing in these things before they have those parabolic phases, right? Like what happened with Meta and, Tesla and all these other stocks where you had to buy 10 to 20 years ago or 30 years ago to actually be well off on them now, right? But this is why we're in crypto, because these types of projects, right, that disrupt these trillion-dollar industries don't take as long. It's way more volatile, right? It's a stock market on steroids. Why are you so focused on, why are you so pessimistic? Why are you not an optimist of this space? Why don't you believe and want this space to innovate and just absolutely crush it, and people make millions and millions of dollars off this space, and be happy with their investment, or develop some crazy stuff that disrupts all of these oligarchs, these trillion-dollar oligarchs? Why don't you want that, right? Well, I want that, and that's why I'm still bullish on Zora here at 349 cent, right? Like I said, $3,500 gets you 100,000 Zora. I think that is a great bet. I think 100,000 Zora is safe. It's very feasible, right? And obviously, if it's too much, you could go 50,000 Zora, which is around $1,748 right now. $1,748 for 50,000, just to be on a safe bet, right? If it's a bit too much, because I know. Look at the economy. Look at the inflation. Look at what is happening around the world, right? When we talk about retail investors, everybody says retail is not coming back. Retail is broke, right? So I know it's tough out there, but this is why opportunities like this present themselves in Zora. Altcoins like this, with innovation, with actual something different, man. Like I said, I think the creator coin flywheel, where you activate the creator coin, every post you make helps build the creator coin that is activated. So it's like every creator that tokenizes their creator coin has just made their own layer 1 or layer 2, and every post they make is like a coin on the layer 2, which then boosts and helps the creator coin, the activated creator coin, right? It's basically like an L1. Every tokenized coin you make has basically now made you an L1 developer, right? As a content creator, right? So that's how I view it, and I think that is smart. I'm not as smart as these guys, right? But I know for sure I'm smarter than crypto Twitter. I don't care what crypto Twitter says. I'm not as smart as Jacob and JS Horn, Brian Armstrong, Jesse Pollock, you name it. But I'm smarter than crypto Twitter. And if they're betting on the success of Zora, so am I, right? So 156 mil market cap for Zora. Just under 30 mil in 24-hour trade volume, which is still great. Volume is still great here. And like I said, a 50,000 to 100,000 Zora bag is fantastic, right? Now, we're going to be taking a look at Garrytan, right? So on Deck Screener, it's Realgarrytan. Just to transition to the ecosystem. Because I don't think, like, you should have Zora and not have some exposure to the ecosystem. You don't have to like put in like 10K, right? You put your big money in Zora, right? That $3,500, 10K, 20K, whatever you're willing to lose, right? Whatever you're willing to lose. Never invest more than you're willing to lose. But that goes to Zora, right? And then with your little, the smaller bit of your portfolio goes into the smaller coins in the ecosystem. Realgarrytan is one of them. Look at this daily chart. Doesn't this look like it's just about to explode out of here, right? So Garrytan is a billionaire. You could search him on Forbes. You could search him on YouTube, right? Let me show you YouTube. He was talking to Sam Altman, right? Sam Altman of OpenAI, right? It's OpenAI, Sam Altman's company, right? You correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, but so yeah, Garrytan right here, 280K subscribers. He has a short right here where he's speaking with Sam Altman, right? for his show. I think he has a show. He's speaking to Sam Altman.
The classic questions is,
but yeah, he manages.
How do I start a startup that doesn't get run over by OpenAI? That's sort of the number one question that's in our chat. We don't want to run you over.
Yeah, so I just want to show you guys. I'm not gonna watch the whole video. I'm just showing you this guy's legit. Okay, this ain't no LARP. This ain't no grifter, which is the space is riddled with that, right? So he's speaking to Sam Altman, billionaire Sam Altman. Garrytan, also close to a billionaire, right? His full net worth not public, but he's close to a billionaire as well too, right? So he created a Zora. He has made a Zora. He activated said Zora, right? As you can see, Garrytan links his creator coin Realgarrytan on base app, and he's looking ways to create value for his creator coin, right? So here you go, Garrytan, 388k market cap at the time. I wish I saw it that early. The people are already up 10x. But this is what you get for researching and, you know, being on point in the space. You get rewarded for it, right? But I think the ceiling for this is way higher, right? So even if you're entering at this moment, when I share the market cap with y'all, etc., which is where I pretty much entered, right? I think the upside is way higher than what people are expecting, right? So shout out to everyone that got into this under $1 million market cap. But so here you go. This is the Realgarrytan. He activated his Zora, right? Which is the Realgarrytan ticker, right? Realgarrytan is the ticker. And he activated his Zora. He has his creator coin. He wants the number to go up. What's the simplest way to post on the base app? Remember I told you the base app is like every time you make a post, it benefits your creator coin because Zora is the infrastructure. Zora is like the back end for the base app, right? For the creator coins, right? So every time you know, you post, that's going to be beneficial for your main creator activated coin, right? So in this case, the ticker Realgarrytan being the activated coin is going to benefit from everything Garrytan does on the base app, right? Pretty simple, right? So he activated it, and now if you take a look, I had it pulled up, but I'm just I got so much to manage, man. I gotta check horse. You know, if horse is pumping, maybe I take some profits. I don't know. You know, I gotta make the video. I gotta find the tweets. So much. Horse is another Zora that I told you guys about. 350k market cap, literally the bottom. 350k. I told you I had to buy some Zora, right? Some horse, and now it's 2x, right? Almost 3x, right? And I know it's gonna go to 100 mil market cap, but we're looking at Realgarrytan now. So here you go, Brian Armstrong, Thread Guy, one of the top KOLs in the space. You know, no disrespect to Thread Guy, but he doesn't believe in creator coins, right? Or he says why they won't work, right? So Brian Armstrong, CEO of Coinbase, had a conversation with him. He got a lot of lots of good ideas from him, and they went back and forth in that off-camera conversation, which is great. So now Brian Armstrong, Jesse, etc. can do better to make the creator coins in the Zora ecosystem better, right? So shout out to Thread Guy, man. You know, again, shout out to Thread Guy. No hate, no disrespect for him. But I just hate how the space is. This is not at him, but I just hate how the space is that when these top KOLs say something, everyone just follows along. Like they don't even be like, oh, this is my adverse opinion, right? It's always the minority with the adverse opinion, and then the majority that just agrees with them. You know, like, can't we make our own decisions, and can't we like come up with our own thoughts based on what we did, what we researched? Can it be like that, right? Do we have to be followers? But that's why it's called followers, right? Thread Guy has how many followers? Right? It's all hidden messaging and spiritual stuff, right? That's why it's called followers, right? And not leaders. Why is it not 350k leaders, right? It's followers, right? So that's just the point I'm trying to make, man. I just think you would be more successful being a leader in this space instead of, following what the KOLs tell you, right? So here we go. From 7, right? Going back into Realgarrytan. So like I said, Brian Armstrong and Thread Guy spoke. They came up with a lot of great ideas. This means it's going to be bullish for the creator coins, the Zoras, right? The Zora coins, right? So here you go from 7. Welcome to on-chain Silicon Valley, Garrytan. So Garrytan is one of the first people, and his followers, right? His investors in the Garrytan coin created a utility for the Garrytan Zora. They create a utility for this. Like I said, look at this chart. This thing looks fantastic. Looks like it's gonna go straight to $1 billion market cap in a month, right? So they created a utility for the Garrytan Zora, create a coin, right? The network stake for founders. Hold 1% of the Garry token to unlock exclusive access to monthly syncs, pitch reviews, the inner circle, and more. You can enter the dashboard, buy on Zora. There's a boardroom where you can talk with Garry with through Zoom calls. There's a pitch deck for experienced founders. So say for example, Garry's company, Garrytan's company, Y Combinator, YC, has investments up to $600 billion worth of investments, right? In startups, in companies. Garrytan was also one of the first people that invested into Coinbase, right? Pretty insane to think about. This is why he's almost a billionaire, right? And he's speaking to Sam Altman, right? So think of it this way. For new developers that want to get their project some funding, some backing, something to push it so they could reach the right eyes and the right people, they could buy 1% of the Realgarrytan Zora coin, create a coin, and then boom, now you have the pitch deck review. You could speak with Garrytan and get your project out there as a startup or a developer, right? Pretty great utility, right? And then there's a private channel on Farcaster. Farcaster is the app. Farcaster is the app that it's like a decentralized social media app, right? And we have Nick Shirley posting on there through the base app. Again, all of these things are through the base app, and these are like the back end infrastructure for the base app, right? So the Farcaster and Zora, those are the two main infrastructure back in place for it, right? So have Garrytan here speaking on Farcaster, Brian Armstrong, right? So the inner circle gets you into his private network. Would you not want to speak with a billionaire? Would you not want to speak with a billionaire and get, insight from a billionaire so you could become a billionaire yourself? So people, in my opinion, will see this, right? And they will buy 1% of the Realgarrytan coin, Zora creator coin, because why? They want to, have access to these utilities, which is a great idea. First time we see, one of the first times, right? There has been previous iterations of this where people try to index creator coins, right? But this is one of the first times we see a creator coin from, not a team, but, from a community that brainstorms together, right? The holders are brainstorming, working together to make this like the best of the best. And this is a great utility, right? I would pay 1% of the supply to speak with Garrytan and, get insight and meet some people and help get my channel to like another level, or find great investments early, right? Into the stock market. Imagine buying the next OpenAI or Nvidia for pennies, right? As a penny stock. Think about that. You instantly become a billionaire like Warren Buffett. Think about that, right? Now, if I could afford it, I would. I can't afford it. But right now to do that, to get the 1% is $45,570, $560, right? To get the 1%. But trust me, I do believe there's going to be people that accumulate and buy that 1% because they want to become a billionaire themselves, right? There's going to be developers that want to do startups that want to speak with Garrytan directly. So they're going to buy that 1%. Now, for me and my followers like yourself, right now, I think 100,000 tokens is more than enough. Not even 1 million tokens, because that's $4,556. We are kind of priced out of getting 1 million tokens, in my opinion, right? Because I'm thinking from the perspectives of someone who hasn't made it yet, and someone that doesn't want to overinvest from their paycheck to paycheck salary, right? So this is why I'm telling you guys, I don't never give you guys like high amounts to invest. Never invest more than you're willing to lose, because this is crypto, and it's extremely difficult, but it's extremely rewarding, right? That's why we're here. So I think 100,000 Realgarrytan coins is great. Right now it's sitting at 4.55 million in market cap, right? So that's going to be $457 to get 100,000 coins. And I think the potential for this is massive. As you can see, it's already up 12%. This chart on the daily, much less the weekly, looks like the Giga chart and the KTA and the SPX 6900 chart when they started their path to a billion market cap, right? Or when they started the pump to a billion market cap. I think $1 billion in market cap for the Realgarrytan coin. This is a billionaire right here, guys. This is a billionaire who's giving you access to his billionaire success secrets, right? That is so bullish to me personally. That is so bullish. I'm like, you know, I wish I could afford that, right? But, you know, unfortunately I can't. But I can still invest in the Garrytan coin and its potential upside, because there's going to be people that want to, you know, get all that insight from Garrytan himself as a billionaire. They want to become a billionaire themselves, right? So this is his X account, 640K followers. President and CEO of Y Combinator. Like I said, Y Combinator, 1.5 million followers, is an investment fund, Y Combinator, that has $600 billion in funds, investments, right? $600 billion, right? Designer, engineer who helps founders, right? So the best way for you to be, as a developer, startup developer, the best way for your success at this point in time is to get direct access to a billionaire who's going to put you at the forefront, right? Once you have a great product, of course, right? You invest that $45,600 into Garrytan, you get that 1%, you get access to the on-chain Silicon Valley, right? The network state for founders, the on-chain Silicon Valley. If I was a developer and a founder, I'd take that risk. I take that bet, man. I take that risk. And again, for us, for my followers, for my supporters, I think 100,000 of the Realgarrytan coin is gonna go very far. $456. It goes to a billion market cap, which I think is so very possible. It's so possible. I think a billion market cap is not far-fetched, because our founder of this creator coin is already a billionaire or close to it. So it's nothing for him to get it to a billion market cap, because he does buybacks as well too, right? So I'm bullish. 100,000 tokens, all you need. Let me see if I could show you a tweet. There was a guy that's a great trader. I think his name is Asta. He's a great trader. He made millions trading. Give me a sec. I just want to show you guys, right? But yeah, this is just my thesis, right? Obviously, none of this is financial advice. I'm doing my best like everyone else. Oh, Kieran is great too. Kieran, you know, has some extremely great takes. He's a great trader. He bought some Nick Shirley and Garrytan recently because he believes Base will make this thing. Base and Coinbase and Base Chain are gonna not. They're not gonna let creator coins flop. They're not gonna let Zora flop, in my opinion. So they're gonna make sure there's success stories here, right? So this is Asta, right? Asta, so he is a great trader. He made millions trading, right? He said he bought 1% of Garrytan because he wants to meet Garrytan, right? He wants Garrytan is worth billions. If White Whale, which is a Solana meme, got to 70 mil market cap, this can go to 200 bill market cap. This is what I'm saying. Billions is possible because Garrytan is worth billions, right? Or close to it, right? I'm not sure the exact net worth, but he's up there, right? So Garrytan is the biggest guy to launch a coin since Trump. Great point. And Gary is actively finding ways to add the utility. Free. This is free right here. So he bought 1%, right? And number 4, Gary finding ways to add utility. Here you go. The on-chain Silicon Valley, right? Utility right here. I'm bullish, man. So I'm making sure to share this with you guys. Again, if you're bullish on Zora, I think it's smart to get exposure to its ecosystem, right? I think if you do have 4 to 5K to invest into the market, 10K, I think you get some exposure to get 50,000 to 100,000 Zora, and the rest of that could go to the Zora ecosystem, right? Like the projects I show you, Horse, the real Nick Shirley, right? Chilling at 2 mil market cap right now. Nick Shirley coin, Garrytan coin, right? Looking like it's gonna go straight to a billion market. Look at that chart. Looks like it's gonna go straight to a billion market cap here. And again, utility. This is the first Zora coin from a creator, not a team, that has actual utility built out with the help of its community, which is fantastic. So I know the video went on a bit long, but it's a lot to get through, man. Like, when I talk about projects on the channel, I'm not just tossing out flavor of the week, ideas to you guys, right? This is like, yo, this is why this will work, and this is who will buy this thing. So this is why I see this success for this thing, right? So as always, none of this is financial advice. Like and subscribe. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I'll catch you in the next one.